Hello, everyone. I want you to take a moment and ask yourself a very important question. When was the last time you truly checked what Social Security actually owes you? I'm not talking about the monthly amount that gets deposited into your bank account. I'm talking about any additional money that might be sitting there, uncollected. For most people, this question never even comes up. They see their regular payment, assume it's the full and correct amount they are entitled to, and simply get on with their lives. But as we move through 2026, there are four very specific circumstances where real money, in some cases thousands of dollars, is sitting unclaimed in seniors' names. This isn't because of some complex loophole. It's often just because no one ever pointed out that they needed to look for it. Today, I'm going to walk you through all four of these situations, explain exactly who is affected, and detail what you can do about each one. Before we dive in, please subscribe to this channel and make sure to turn on notifications. This is precisely the kind of vital information I cover. Money that you have a right to, but that the system doesn't always go out of its way to tell you about. The subscribers here are the ones who find out about these opportunities before a window might close. So, subscribe now, and let's get started. The first situation we need to discuss stems from a law that was changed more than a year ago, but its financial impact has still not been fully settled for everyone. If you dedicated any portion of your career to being a teacher, a police officer, a firefighter, a federal employee, or another type of public sector worker, this could apply directly to you. For many decades, two specific provisions within Social Security law had the effect of penalizing these public service workers. The first was the Windfall Elimination Provision, or WEP, which reduced the Social Security benefits for people who also had a government pension. The second was the Government Pension Offset, or GPO, which did something similar by reducing or even completely eliminating spousal and survivor benefits for the same group of individuals. All told, roughly 3 million people were impacted by these rules. We saw stories like that of a retired California schoolteacher who was shocked to see her late husband's Social Security survivor benefit completely eliminated the moment she filed for it. Or a retired firefighter in Massachusetts who found his own Social Security check, which he had earned from second jobs and summer work, slashed by hundreds of dollars each month simply because of his municipal pension. For years, these retirees were forced to live with those significant reductions. That all changed with the Social Security Fairness Act, which was signed into law in January 2025, and, critically, was made retroactive to the beginning of January 2024. This act permanently repealed both the WEP and the GPO. The Social Security Administration began the massive task of processing back payments in February of 2025. As of early 2026, the SSA has successfully paid out an incredible $17 billion in retroactive lump sum payments to about 3.1 million beneficiaries. For many of these retirees, that money simply appeared as a direct deposit, often with no letter or warning beforehand. But here is what is so crucial right now. In the middle of 2026, not everyone has been paid what they are owed. The process is still ongoing and incomplete for a notable number of spousal and survivor claims. In fact, back in March 2026, a group of U.S. senators sent a formal letter to the SSA, urging the agency to finish making the maximum retroactive payments for all affected spouses, going all the way back to January 2024. So, if you worked in public service and you have not seen your monthly Social Security benefit go up since early 2025, it's time to investigate. Log into your My Social Security account over at ssa.gov right away. Compare your current benefit amount to what you were getting before January 2025. If that number hasn't changed, you should call the SSA directly. Their number is 1-800-772-1213. When you speak to them, ask specifically about your WEP and GPO adjustment under the Social Security Fairness Act. If you are the widow or widower of a public sector worker, you could also be entitled to these retroactive payments. Furthermore, if a parent or spouse who would have qualified passed away after January 2024, those retroactive funds can often be claimed as part of their estate, which is certainly something worth discussing with a legal professional. Our second situation involves retirement money from old jobs that many people have completely forgotten about. If you worked for several different employers over your career, and that describes most American workers, there's a genuine chance that one of those companies had a pension plan that was eventually terminated. When a company pension plan is terminated, the benefits don't just vanish into thin air. Instead, they are transferred to the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, or PBGC. This is a federal agency whose job is to hold on to those funds and wait for the rightful owners to step forward and claim them. The PBGC offers a free, publicly available database where you can search for these unclaimed retirement benefits. You can find it at pbgc.gov. The database was last updated on May 11, 2026, so the information is current. The search is simple. You just need your last name and the last 4 digits of your Social Security number. The whole process takes less than a minute. If your name comes up in the search, it means there are pension benefits from a former employer that are waiting for you. Many people who find their name on this list have absolutely no memory of the pension plan. It might have been from a job they had for just a short time decades ago. The employer may have gone out of business, leading them to assume that any retirement benefit they might have had was lost forever. It wasn't. The PBGC has been safeguarding it all this time. The amount of money involved can vary wildly depending on the specific plan and your years of service. Some people find a few $100s. Others discover tens of thousands. The only way to find out if you're one of them is to perform the search. Just go to pbgc.gov, click on the link that says Find Unclaimed Retirement Benefits, and run a quick search with your last name and the last 4 digits of your SSN. It honestly takes less time to do than it took me to explain it to you. The third situation applies specifically to people who are already past their full retirement age, but have not yet started collecting their Social Security benefits. For anyone born in 1960 or later, full retirement age is now 67. If you are 67, 68, 69, or even 70, and you still haven't filed, you may have the option to receive up to 6 months of retroactive payments in one single lump sum when you do finally file. Based on the current average Social Security benefit, which is $2,076 per month, a 6-month retroactive payment would amount to $12,456. That's a significant check delivered right alongside your very first monthly payment. However, there is a very important trade-off you must understand before you choose this option. If you claim 6 months of retroactive benefits, the Social Security Administration will treat your benefit start date as if it were 6 months earlier than your actual filing date. What this means is that you forfeit 6 months' worth of delayed retirement credits. Those are the credits that increase your benefit by 8% for every year you wait to file past your full retirement age. For a 6-month retroactive claim, this results in a permanent reduction to your ongoing monthly benefit of approximately 4%. On a $2,000 monthly benefit, that's a decrease of $80 every single month for the rest of your life. Whether that upfront lump sum is worth the permanent monthly reduction is a deeply personal decision. It depends on your individual financial situation, your health, and how long you anticipate you'll be collecting benefits. If you're uncertain, it's a good idea to run the numbers using the SSA's own benefit estimator on their website, ssa.gov, before you make a final choice. As always, consulting with a trusted financial advisor can also provide clarity. The most important point here is that this option exists, but the SSA will likely not volunteer this information when you call to file your claim. You have to know to ask about it. Finally, our fourth situation is one that could potentially affect nearly every single person who is currently receiving Social Security. And what's more, most people who are receiving benefits have no idea just how much this could impact their monthly check. Your Social Security benefit amount is calculated based on your official earnings record. This is a file maintained by the SSA that lists your reported income for every single year you've ever worked. This record was compiled over decades using data submitted by all of your past employers, and it is not always perfect. If your earnings record has errors, for instance, a year where an employer submitted the wrong income figure, a year where your income is listed as much lower than what you actually made, or a year that incorrectly shows 0 earnings even though you were working, then your monthly benefit is being calculated based on a lower amount than you truly deserve. According to the Social Security Administration's own estimates, each single year of earnings that is either missing or incorrect can reduce your monthly benefit by approximately $100. Think about that. Over a 20-year retirement, one single missing year could cost you $24,000. 2 missing years could cost you $48,000. These are permanent reductions that will follow you for the rest of your life, unless you are the one to find them and get them corrected. To check your earnings record, you need to log into your My Social Security account at ssa.gov and open your Social Security statement. Carefully review the earnings that are listed for every year you worked. Compare what you see on the screen against any personal records you might have, like old W-2 forms, tax returns, or even pay stubs. You're looking for years where the amount seems unusually low compared to what you recall earning, and pay special attention to any years that show 0 income when you know you were employed. If you do find a discrepancy, you'll need to download Form SSA 7008, which is the Request for Correction of Earnings Record from the ssa.gov website. Attach your supporting documentation, your proof, and submit it to the SSA. Once the correction is processed, the SSA will recalculate your benefit amount, and your monthly check will be permanently increased from that point forward. It's important to know that the agency does not typically provide back pay for the months you were underpaid. However, every single future payment you receive will reflect that new, corrected, and higher amount. So, let's bring the full picture together. First, if you worked in public service and haven't seen a Social Security benefit increase since early 2025, your WEP and GPO adjustment from the new law might still be pending. Log in or call the SSA now to check. Second, if you've had multiple jobs in your career, search the PBGC database at pbgc.gov. There could be a pension from a former employer waiting for you. The database was just updated on May 11, 2026. Third, if you are past your full retirement age and haven't filed yet, remember the retroactive lump sum option.
It allows you to collect up to 6 months of back payments when you file, but make sure you understand the trade-off. And fourth, if you're already receiving Social Security, take the time to log into ssa.gov and carefully review your earnings record year by year. Correcting just one error could permanently boost your monthly check by $100 or even more. None of this money will come looking for you. The SSA doesn't call you when a payment is pending. The PBGC doesn't send out reminder letters, and the retroactive lump sum option is not usually mentioned during the standard filing process. Knowing that these possibilities exist is the crucial first step to acting on them. Please subscribe and share this video with someone you know who receives Social Security. I'll see you in the next one.